What's up, advocates? And welcome back to episode number 2 of the Claims Game podcast. Super excited about this episode, but before I get into that, we do have some support coming into the show now, and this support is coming from Fortes Health. So if you go to www.forteshealth.com, they're selling all kinds of masks and any kind of protection gear. I know I'm using them in any single house that I go to, just out of respect for the clients and for any children or elderly that they have in their home, and I'm just leaving the mask. I don't really wear much gloves because I feel like if I touch anything, I could just sanitize and wash my hands anyway. So I do like to sanitize before going into a house, and then either washing my hands as I exit and then sanitizing inside the car. But what I've been reading and what the Fortes Health has been telling me is that it's very important to at least keep the mask on. So go to forteshealth.com, and whatever it is that you decide to buy, if you put in the promo code Vince20, you'll receive 20% off. So anyway, about this show, episode number 2, we got a special guest. It's with Jack Hanks. And anybody that is in this industry most likely knows Mr. Hanks. Jack Hanks is the vice president of Skipton and Associates. Skipton and Associates is one of the largest public adjusting firms in the entire nation. They've got, endless amounts of years of experience. They've been around since the early 90s, late 80s, really when public adjusting really started to roll as a result, honestly, of Hurricane Andrew. And like I said, David Skipton is the owner. He's been in this business forever. But now Jack Hanks is the vice president of Skipton and Associates, who with a ton of experience. And I'll tell you one thing: if you follow him on Facebook, the guy is on a massive building pretty much every other day. So they're doing large commercial claims, and not just that, but they also provide an excellent course that I personally took. And it is fantastic. Really taught me how I really just, even as experienced as I am, not only do I not know everything, but I need to really tighten up my game. Make sure we got that proper documentation. Make sure that we send legitimate letters citing policy language so that we can really get the results that we want. So this is a great podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. We talk about everything from commercial claims, from a flood commercial claim that I'm currently going through. We talk about what's his process, what's their process at Skipton, not only business-wise, which is what we talk about too, the systems that they use and the process that they go through to settle a claim, but also just the process that they go through when they enter a new claim and all the documentation that needs to be gathered. We talk about the course. We talk about the importance of building relationships. It's probably the most important thing. And it's not what you know, it's who you know. And it's just what it's like to have been learning from Mr. David Skipton, who's probably one of the most experienced public adjusters out there. So I hope you enjoy it. Again, Claims Game Podcast, episode 2 of many. And enjoy. See you later.
Welcome to the Claims Game Podcast with Vince Perry. Get all the tips you need from insurance claim advocates and professionals and grow your public adjusting career to the next level. And now the commercial claims advocate, Vince Perry.
Building and doing one of these, and it's usually with the, what is it, where you do the whole like, oh yeah. All right?
Branding matters, brother. Branding matters.
It does.
My children and my girlfriend make fun of me constantly because they get sick of seeing all that. But
yeah, I'm
when
sure.
you got tuitions to pay for, I kind of explain to them that's all part of it. So
I can imagine your kids
after that point.
I could imagine your kids going, Dad, do you have to do the peace sign though? Like, why do you got to do that?
Right. Please stop that. I'm like, well, you like your new apartment at the college, so you have to deal with that. So
yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I want to get right into something that I'm using this, not just forget the fans. I don't care who's listening. This is for me. And I actually have
my information.
Huh?
You gonna steal all my secrets?
Yeah, we'll see if I can get there. I gotta get you drunk enough.
Yeah, well.
So I actually got a call today. I got a call yesterday for a claim, and I'm just going to tell you how I'm going to go through it, and I want you to tell me what you think. I think you're going to agree with most of it, and then maybe just give me some tips and advice, because I got a commercial claim. I settled my biggest commercial claim after Irma down in Miami, and it was a 15 building association, condominium. Right. Most of them are they condos? They're kind of townhomes. Some buildings have 5 units, some buildings have 7 units, and it's 15 buildings. So in Miami, I don't know if you've seen the last week, they're fucking flooded. Nasty.
Over and over again, yeah.
It's bad. Have you gotten any calls from there?
No, I'll wait a few days and get in there. It's just too hectic right now, but we will.
So the claim that I settled for $1.1 million after Irma. Thank you very much. I was very happy about that. You're not even like nodding your head. You're like, yeah, whatever. That's great. Anyway, it was
4 o'clock, baby.
it was nice for me. You know, I
No,
was
it's great. No,
yeah. This is like
heck
2
yeah.
years ago. So they're obviously very happy. They ended up changing all their roofs, which is fantastic. I mean, they were thrilled with the way everything worked out. But the vice president association called me and said, Vince, we're flooded. Everything is flooded, and we've got water lines on the exterior walls about a foot and a half, 2 feet up. That's how much water that was there, and the water seems to be creeping into all of the units. It's going in through the exterior walls. So I'm doing my research, talking to my people, seeing how I could do it. I'm going to drive down there tomorrow because I'm 4 hours away. So I'm going to drive down there tomorrow. They already filed a claim, and the adjuster is scheduled to go out there Sunday at 9 a.m. Sunday. You believe that?
Well, catastrophe guys are working 247 down there, so yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Gotcha. So I'm going to drive down there tomorrow, and we've
Do they have flood
already.
insurance?
They have flood insurance, and not only do they have
Okay,
flood
good.
insurance, they have better than basic. So she paid. Listen to this: they only had to pay about $5 or $10 more per month, and they got the extra additional coverage. So they don't just have basic. Basic would have been like about $250,000 to $300,000 policy limits, but because they got the extra, it doubled. So they're at like the 650, 750,000. So I got a few questions in regards to that. But so I'm going down there on Saturday. It looks like we've already got a general contractor, a licensed general contractor, and a licensed certified engineer that she knows, that she's friends with. So I have actually, it's 5 o'clock here where I am. After we're done here, I've got a call to them that we're gonna four-way. So that I could speak to them and ask them what they think in regards to getting ourselves an engineering report and see what's going on. She did like a FaceTime video with me. She showed me what's going on with the exterior. It looks to me like the bottom of that building, underneath the foundation, maybe like the fill, it seems to be it's given away. And the water is going through, and right where the exterior wall where she showed me where everything's giving away, and the closet that's underneath her stairs is where all the water's coming in. And even after she dries everything, now that the flood is gone and now that the rain is over, she'll wake up in the morning and there's more water there, even after the rain. So I guess my question to you is, well, how I'm going to handle is I'm going to speak to these guys now. I'm going to see what they feel about it. I'm going to try to meet them out there tomorrow before the actual inspection, see what he thinks. And frankly, if everything goes the way I think it's going to go, I want that freaking engineer and that GC out there with me when I'm doing the inspection with the adjuster. Because I got to let that adjuster know he's not an engineer. I got an engineer right here. Here's what needs to be done.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Bring your own experts in right away is the best way to handle stuff, especially when they're tricky like that. That flood coverage stuff is no joke. So,
well, tell me about it. I've been hearing so far that we can't file a lawsuit, right? Because we can, but there's no attorney fees and costs, right?
Good luck, right? Yeah. So nobody wants to mess with that. So I mean, flood coverage is limited. It's not going to be a lot of money. It's $750,000 for the whole property, correct?
No, each building is between $550,000 to $800,000.
Oh, each building. Okay, good, very good. Otherwise, you guys would be in the hole. So,
no.
If it's still wet, I would get a mitigation contractor out there right away. Get the drying done so things dried out. That's going to be a big key to that. But just be careful where the water's coming in from. Make sure it's document the living hell out of that thing. So
you think I should immediately get the water restoration out there, which was another one of my phone calls that I was going to make.
Yeah,
the other thing
and asbestos testing, mold, all that stuff. Get all that testing done, ready to. Because if that stuff's hot and it's got asbestos in it, you guys start tearing into that could be a problem. So I would get asbestos testing done immediately, like today.
Really? Okay.
Before he starts. Those buildings have to be. How old are those buildings?
Kidding me? It's Miami Fontainebleau, right next to where I grew up. They're they were built in the 70s, I think.
Yeah, get asbestos test done. If that stuff's hot and you guys start ripping that stuff up, it's going to contaminate the whole building. There's going to be some protocol issues there.
Right. It's like David said in the class, do the asbestos first, try to find out, because then you're screwed, right? Because if you start tearing shit up, then you're negligible, right? Of some really bad shit.
Exactly. Yep. 100%.
Let me ask you about the flood coverage. Let me ask you this, because they've got that extra extended coverage that's doubled it. Is the interiors going to be covered?
Well, I mean, you're going to write a scope up of damages, and then a lot of it's going to be eaten up by the drying and things like that. So yeah, the interior will be covered. I think the way the flood works, it's up to 2 or 3 feet, 4 feet on the drywall. So anything below that line will have coverage for it.
But this is an association.
It's still the same policies. I mean, so the flood stuff is 4 feet down. So anything 4 feet below is going to be taken care of. But there's no coverage for like sidewalks or pools or things like that. So that's where it gets tricky. The pool house won't be covered, just the dwellings themselves. So read that policy head to tail. They're they're not written very well. They're kind of just, I mean, they're crap policies that the government did just to kind of help people out. So we had a lot of that problem when Harvey hit in the Houston area. Nobody was ready for it. Nobody had flood coverage, and people lost everything because they didn't have the right proper coverage. So the flood stuff's a little different to handle. You may want to find some flood certified adjuster to help you on your side, because it is a little bit tricky. So it's not your normal policies.
I asked you that in regards to the interior because, as with a wind claim or any other damage that we have to a condominium association, it's always the age old, anything from after the drywall is not covered. But with flood, it's different.
Well, you need to read the policy.
Right.
It should be, yes. I mean, what those flood policies are actually geared to do is basically give the owner or the occupant enough money to dry it out, tear the drywall and the flooring out, and call it a day. That's really all it's really geared for.
Oh, it won't be not to remove and replace flooring and cabinets?
Well, no, there is, but I'd say it's limited. So that's what it's really geared for, is that anything below that 4 foot mark, and it doesn't really go into other areas. It's just a very limited policy. Not a lot of meat and potatoes in those things. So that money goes very quickly. Just control the remediation guy is going to want to try to
control them a little bit.
Just be careful, because it sounds
I'll
like a
let
lot of
him
money,
know.
but it's not. I mean, the drying could go $100,000 and you're already down 20% of that policy. So
Right.
and
Gotcha.
people might not have coverage on their contents, so be careful with all that. Okay, read the living hell out of that thing.
But can they if since it's a flood, can they they can't file a normal claim under their normal insurance, right? Yeah, that's not going to be covered.
I mean, they can file it all day. It's going to be a big goose egg, yeah.
So, unless they have their own flood insurance.
Correct.
Right. Then that makes it a lot better. Then they could actually really get into it.
I guarantee most of them don't. So
no, most of them probably don't. But I could still put in for all brand new kitchen cabinets, new flooring and stuff like that in the association's floods claim.
I believe so, yeah. But once again, be careful, because those limits are going to be very, very tight. Yeah. I'm not a big flood. I hate flood insurance.
Listen. I mean, they called me. They're happy with me with what we did, so I'm going to go after it. What's happening is,
thank God they got the bigger policy, because that smaller would have been wiped out in 2 seconds. So
$10 a month more is what it costs.
Yeah, people don't know that.
I know, it's ridiculous, and I tell people all the time, if you don't live in a flood area, just get it anyway. It's so cheap. Like, you never know what's going to happen. And I tell everybody about Harvey, about Texas, because I mean, that was crazy, right? Because I was thinking about going over there, and some people were just like, dude, don't even bother. Nobody has coverage.
No. I mean, I think 85 or 90% of the people did not have the right coverage for that hurricane.
Wow.
Because it wasn't so much the wind and everything; it was the damn flooding. It just that water got trapped in there. It's like New Orleans. The water got trapped and nowhere to go. 80% of Houston's underwater with no flood coverage, because they never knew they had it. And the shitty part, you can't even buy it. They couldn't even buy it because they're not in the floodplain, so it wasn't available to purchase.
Really?
Yeah, you have to be in a flood area to buy flood coverage.
I thought you could always. I thought you could always buy flood insurance.
No, it has to be a certain. You have to be deemed a flood zone to buy it.
Are you sure? I thought you could buy it.
I'm 99% sure.
Oh, yeah, because I thought you could just always have it, even if you're not in a flood area, and it's just much cheaper.
Well, keep in mind it's government backed, so they're going to do what they can to limit what they have their exposure.
That's true. That makes sense.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to drive down there Saturday. It's mainly the corner units. The corner units are what's suffering all the damage, and it's the water going under there. What do you think? Have you seen that before, where the water is creeping underneath the foundation there?
Yeah, most people don't have the right flood coverage, so it gets denied in about 2 seconds. So if they have flood, they should be okay though. So.
Well, I know they're going to probably come at me and try to tell me that it's just wear and tear of an old building.
Oh, I guarantee it. So that's why the engineers are going to be important to document how that water got in there, and there was no pre-existing damage from before or whatever. So
Right.
It's gonna be a big deal. It's gonna be a big deal.
Gotcha. All right. So I appreciate that. I'm gonna let you know how that goes. You said to
Sure.
call a flood expert.
Yeah. So we have two. A lot of guys have their flood adjusters. They have a certification because it's such a different world than what we usually do. Justin and Greg, who work here, have it. I do not have a flood certification because it's such a pain. I don't have time. But if we ever get flood policies in, those two guys handle it because it is completely different animal. So
Gotcha.
if you
All
need
right.
some help, you can email me the policy and I can have Justin look at it for you and see if there's any weird stuff going on there to cover your butt too. Because you certainly don't want to waste a lot of your time if it's not even going to be covered, you know what I mean, or have some weird stuff going on. So you can certainly email that over. We'll take a look at it for you just to help you out. So
You would do that for me? I appreciate that. That would be
Vince,
awesome.
anything for you, man.
So obviously we met sort of not, I mean, I wish I would have gone now just so like I heard you guys were painting the town red.
You know, a lot of the training is phenomenal itself, but the cool stuff is after the training. You know, you get a couple of beers in you, a couple of vodka tonics, and the storytelling and the experiences and stuff starting to click. And I'm a big relationship guy, and I love meeting new people and getting to know these guys. And I've already talked to probably 6 or 7 of the guys who are actually in town for training. I was in Jacksonville with Randolph yesterday on a huge commercial property, helping him out. I've got emails and texts from a bunch of other ones with questions. I got one of the guys had a big boiler loss in Chicago, called us about that. So the after hours thing is really, that's when you get to know people, right? I mean, sitting in a classroom is cool and you get all the knowledge, but to really get to know people and how they interact and the strengths and weaknesses we all have, it's really cool. I had more, of course, I had a blast, and thank God Scottsdale's open, so we got to go out some of the cool places, and I got to show off some of the town, and it's just really cool. I mean, getting to know there's a lot of great people in this industry, and I was so impressed by the quality of people involved on the Zoom event and also here in person. I mean, you know, it was absolutely ridiculous, the people that came, and the follow-up stuff I got afterwards. I put a video out that Friday. I was absolutely blown away by the quality of people involved and the thank yous and everything else and the response we got. I think I got 10 people already go for July already, and I haven't even started promoting it. It's really cool, and it's a much needed thing for our industry. That was our first time out of the gates, and then, you know, I kind of give us an A-. A couple things we could have did better, but it should improve every time, right? And I was blown away by the quality on what we produced, and then the guys that came in and gals that came in were absolutely tremendous. The people were just unreal, and I was very humbled, and
That's
it was
awesome.
great, actually. Yeah, it was really cool.
Just to give people a point of reference, even though I already talked about it in the introduction, it's Jack is talking about the course that we did, the Skipton. What is the course exactly called? The training.
It was all David's book here.
Is there? Oh, I got the book here, but you got the big one. Oh, I got the big one too.
Yeah,
well, no, hold on. I got.
Oh, the training manual. I'm actually out of those. I got to order some more.
This thing is just unbelievable. Look at the size. So it's the training manual for this. I know it's backwards, but for the Skipton claims management. And if for those who are watching this, look at this thing is just packed, loaded with information.
Yeah, we actually, you know, David took a bunch of his letters and put them in there and as a point of reference. And you know what, this industry is new and it's ever changing. And there's like in every industry, there's good and bad. And you know, we want to bring everybody up a level. So if we got, like I told the guys in the beginning of the class, if they got one thing out of it and help with one claim down the road, I think it was a success. But I'm getting, like I said, the feedback's been tremendous, and the letters David included in the back of that manual, they're gold. I mean, it's been successful for us, and we're just trying to pass the information on and make the industry better as a whole. We all need that, man. We all need to be better, and it's time. It really is.
It's the reason why I started what I'm doing as well, like all my videos and stuff. And I'm preparing some stuff too. And it's really just because I know that when I started about 11 and a half years ago or so, I mean, there was nothing. It's really hard to find stuff. public adjusters, for some reason, I always felt like we're always against each other because they're trying to get that claim. They're trying to grow their business, which is understandable. It's like we're
Sure.
almost always competing. And then when you've been doing this long enough, you realize, you know what? I mean, it's nice to have have a good, positive, strong community that we could feed off and learn stuff.
Yep.
Because as long as I've been doing this, let me tell you, I learned a great deal on that course, man. And it's
That's
just. And it's not so much, I'll be honest, it's not that I learned a bunch of new stuff, but I really learned that, all right, I got to tighten up a little bit, right? I got to tighten up a little bit. Let me get my documents order. Let me get my experts in order. Let me get all my stuff. Let me really spend at least an extra, more time on really crafting these letters and crafting these emails to make sure that I'm hitting all the points that I need to hit to really put them up against the wall and just be like, all right, look, I'm calling you out on all your bullshit,
Right.
pay up.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of guys believe, well, all we do is go out and write a real fancy estimate, right? That's kind of, and yell and scream and kick at the insurance company. Well, we do write a real fancy estimate. However, that's about 1/10 of what we do. I mean, the letters and finding out the different aspects of those policies, man, that's the golden stuff, man. That's what it's all about. A lot of guys, I was talking to Randolph yesterday in Jacksonville. I mean, they're like, oh, I set on a $4.3 million estimate. Well, okay, is it covered? Let's get the coverage established first. I can write estimates all day and night till the sky is blue. Who cares? I mean, it's all about getting the damn stuff covered. That's the idea, and that's where I think our industry fails a lot, where we don't worry about coverage, worry about all these high ticket dollar scopes. Well, that's all great and dandy. I mean, you and I can write rip scopes all day and night. It doesn't do any good unless it's covered, right? So coverage is the key to what we do, and I'm trying to get that to the forefront where that's the important thing we all concentrate on.
You guys, you mentioned that you're like, get $1. Just get $1. You get $1 paid, you're in.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the one in Jacksonville yesterday, it's 15 buildings. They wrote scopes on 9 of them for a course. 16, yeah, 42 minimal stuff, right? Great. I'm like, all day. Now these guys open coverage, the barn door's open. Now we're gonna kick it open and get the right stuff. That's perfect. So, like we told the guys, you guys in training, it's a card game, right? You don't want to come out guns ablazing and shooting fireworks out of your butt on day one for $9 million because you know what's going to happen. The Amica legal team or the State Farm legal team is going to see that and go, screw these guys, denied, move down the road, and then chase us around for 2 years. So the whole idea is casually get the damn thing covered, and then work on the scope, and then the money will follow. Don't start with C, start with A, man.
Would you recommend waiting to do an estimate until after coverage?
Sure.
Really?
Yeah. Why do you want to scare the hell out of some poor $83,000 Safeco adjuster living in Motel 6, right?
I always talk about that. I always say like $30,000, $40,000 though.
Yeah, but I'm talking high dollar ones. So
yeah.
I mean, you. So the whole idea is you want to. I'm a big advocate of getting these guys on your side, man. Like pull them aside. Like I'm not here to. I don't want to make your life miserable. However, I want the claim to be paid. I want to be paid fair. I'm not going to kill you on this. You be cool. I'll be cool. We'll make it all. I mean, we get a lot of deals done in the parking lots. We get a lot of deals done afterwards, having a beer too. I mean, relationships are a big thing on both sides. I have some of my best friends are carrier adjusters. They're good guys. They have families to feed, and they're trying to do the right thing as well.
Right.
But we all, and once again, in every industry, there's shitty guys and good guys. So, we get a lot of work approved, a lot of claims approved because of our name and what we've done in the past. They know we're not here to mess around. We write a good, clean scope. We're not going to throw a bunch of crap against the wall to see what sticks. If it's $1.2 million, our estimate's $1.2 million, right? And we do wait a lot of time. I mean, I would say 50% of the time, we're not writing scopes until we get coverage approved.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, once again, having 4 aces in my back pocket doesn't mean I throw them all down at once, right?
Sure.
So we'll throw an ace down, get it covered, then we'll start piling on.
Well, and
idea,
you mentioned something that I like too, is that now I also look at it sort of, you meet some of these adjusters out there and they're trying to do the right thing. I mean, they really are. They're not bad people. And if we could help them determine
Yeah.
and get coverage, they're like actually grateful. They're just like, man, you got all this
Oh,
stuff.
thank
This is
God.
great. I'm
Yeah.
going to send this out. You're going to get paid on this and it's going to be great. You're going to get coverage. But if we just go and, like you said, just give them $100,000 estimate with nothing to back it up, I've had them in the past when I first started, they'll look at me and just be like, Vince, like what do you want me to do here? Or like, where's the damage? Show me the come on, show me something, show me, give me
Help me.
something. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Right.
help me here.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
idea. I mean, a lot of the guys want to do. I mean, a lot of the guys want to do a great job. They're really good people, and they want to do the right thing. But their hands are a bit tied. We understand that. So help us help you, right? Like, tell me
Right.
what you need from me to get this thing done, and we'll make it happen. And it's relationships matter. That's the whole idea on this thing. So yeah, we barely. I want to say probably half the time until coverage is established, we're not writing scopes because we've learned that a lot of guys get freaked the hell out.
Right.
They get. Because if it goes past their level, the higher it goes, like once State Farm hits $1 million, it goes to the home office. So a lot of our stuff we're starting out at $600-700 right? Then
Well,
moving up the chain.
let's face it too. A lot of times, like you said, you're dealing with the desk adjuster. They're going to take your estimate and kind of wipe their ass with it anyway. They're going to just go based on their field adjuster's estimate either way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes people don't understand. Sometimes our estimate is meaningless.
It kind of, I feel you. Yeah.
I mean, it sucks and it's part of the deal, but we understand that that's just part of the spiel. And once again, we're playing in there. So it's their arena, right? They're the ones with the sand in the sandbox. We're just visiting. They have the checkbook and
they got the money.
Amen, right?
Yeah.
So us being douchebags and yelling, screaming, and kicking, it's not going to probably help our cause. But at the same time, we're going to write a very strongly worded letter, finding coverage, explaining why it's covered per the policy that the insured has purchased, that they're representing. Let's just get it done, right? Let's be fair. So that's all we ask.
I could scream and holler like I do in all my videos and tell public adjusters how important it is to gather documentation and how I go through it. But could you maybe just for the audience sort of go through how you guys build a kick-ass case and build a claim and make sure that you get coverage?
Yeah, well, the biggest thing, number one, we actually order. I hope everybody out there orders the exact policy in the home office. A lot of guys don't. Some of that stuff online that these guys have on their apps is not the real policy. And you would be surprised how many times it actually changes when we get the certified policy from the carrier's home office. A and or an if or a but or a comma could change the whole policy if you think about that.
Huh.
Okay, so that's the first thing we do is we get the actual policy that they purchased, not the bullshit one on the app that everybody has when they get pulled over. The actual policy that's purchased, and a lot of times it is slightly different. Okay, that's important. Yeah, that's a little trick. I mean, once again, if there's a word a or and or but, that's life changing for some of the stuff.
Yeah, that's honestly something I don't do all the time that I'm starting to do now more just on that first email when I send in my LOR, I'm requesting a certified copy of the policy.
Yep. And then you read it, right? And you find it and you go through it and you determine the how it's covered and why it's covered, and you document that, whether it's weather reports or it's hail trace or it's bringing an engineer like you're doing tomorrow out and documenting how this water got into this home, or why this roof is ripped the hell off, and why the wind speeds, even though we're 46 miles an hour, how wind shear and how all these other, remember like David said in training, wind or roof damage doesn't have to be in particular speed. It's all about how it hits it and angles and
sure.
The bazillion. Like people get cut up, oh, it's only 65 an hour winds. Well, okay. I wasn't standing there with a speedometer on that guy's roof on December 3rd, right? I have no idea. Neither do they. So once again, it's bringing the experts in and the good solid reports and having these guys.
Jack, what are some of the stuff when you go through the policy that you look for? What are some of the most common things? Like I know you do a lot of hail. I know I see a lot of hail that you guys do.
Yeah,
what are some of the stuff?
Exclusions, man. That's what kills these guys. And let's be real honest. 9 times out of 10, the owner and the agent have no idea what the hell they bought. Right.
Right.
It's a crapshoot. So they have no idea. So we look for the exclusions, cosmetic on the hail stuff. The big ones is cosmetic exclusions. Some of these deductibles are outrageous, so we look at all that and just making sure that the policy is tight, where the coverages are at, and following through. Then trying to find that little hiccup, that little opening of coverage. That's all we need. Once again, I need $1 paid, man. That's all we need. We're looking for that first dollar.
Can you give me an exact example of something in the policy that you have found in the past? It's like, like if you cite this, you're going to get it covered.
So A year and a half ago, we had a big church collapse here in Phoenix. I'm talking the damn thing fell on the ground. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. Crash, boom, bam. The church fell on the freaking ground. No reason whatsoever. Well, CNA comes out and they go, oh, it's all rotted wood. They found a beam. JSL comes out, find this rotted ass beam. Like, oh shit, it's all rotted. Well, luckily, one of my adjusters, we got the policy from CNA. He read it. We found some termite damage. I sent a termite expert out to the property, found that the termites ate the beam. And since the beam was wrapped and covered unseen by anyone, there's a little blurb in the policy that covered it. Lo and behold, there's $1 million check. The damn church is almost done being rebuilt. We got them coverage. Not because the beam failed, but because the termites ate the damn beam that made it fail. That's why we got coverage.
And termites, that's usually something that's tough to get covered, though.
CNA had a little thing. If it was hidden,
and
they could. So that beam is inside. It's behind the drywall, right? Nobody could see it. So the beam was hidden. They had termite treatments done on their property. They had pest control done. They had all the documentation. Nobody saw this. I never crawled around in my attic. I don't think you do either.
Sure.
The beam was. Nobody saw it. Brian, who works for us, found a little clause in that policy that if it was hidden vermin and or insect damage, it had coverage.
Wow.
And CNA is like, oh shit, you're right. Here's your check. Thank you.
I got one now. Yeah. Hold on a second. I got one now. I'm going to read it to you. So I have this commercial claim. I was there today and it's a backup. And he comes in and the first thing sewer backup. He comes in and the first thing he says is, well, I just want to let you know there's a $25,000 limit on water backup. And I look at him, I'm just like, well, I want to let you know that even if that does apply, and I'm not saying that it does, I said the water damage here is only as a result of the backup. However, in order to replace this drain line throughout this entire building, that's going to require access, which has nothing to do with the backup or nothing to do with water damage or anything at all. That's going to cost you. Yeah,
the backup itself, I agree, it's $25,000 damage, but the resulting everything else you have to do to get it repaired is not the $25,000. That's correct.
But listen to this. In the policy, it's sewer backup. It is hereby understood and agreed that this policy covers external risks of direct physical loss caused by water to the described premises or other materials that back up or overflow. External risks, which is, I was speaking to one of my attorneys and he's like, to me, that means that if there's a sewer plant or a water facility outside away from the building and something happens there and that causes the backup to happen inside, then it's not covered. But in this case, the backup happened inside.
Risk. Yeah, so usually the way we interpret that, if the backup happens on your property, we get coverage. If it happens as a result of the city or whatever, that's a liability issue.
Right.
Go back to the city. But if it's on that property, they should have coverage for that. It's not external, that's internal. So
now I'm thinking I'm going to send all my documentation. I got already a huge file. Had the initial inspection today and I've already got plumbing invoices, proposals. I've got waterman. I've got all that stuff. So I want to send my email with all the documentation and I got a little bit of a mixed review, right? So on one guy was telling me, an attorney was like, yeah, go ahead and send it. But I don't want to get my hands tied if I talk about access and water damage, because then I don't want to be limited to the $25,000, but I could also bring up the external, if it's like that. But then an attorney also told me, he's like, well, get coverage first, right? Because even if they do pay the $25,000 limit, you might not want to open a can of worms by sending too much details in an email or in a letter. Do you agree? Or?
Yeah, I agree. But once again, get coverage established, get it bought, and then start working through the details.
So send my documentation, and no, let's not get too bossy. Let's not let them, even if they want to pay $25K.
Let's get a yes, and then start working through the process. Right? Exactly.
Gotcha.
If they say yes, and it's in writing, you're done. They can't go back on that, right?
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
If they say no, once again, get them to say yes, and then you got to start working through the details. I mean, yes is a great thing. If they start saying no right away, then that's a much harder challenge. I'd rather have a yes minimally with $2,000 worth of an estimate going out than a no with zero coverage. That's completely different. That's when we start really earning our money, right? So.
Yeah. So, because even if they come back and give me that $25,000 limit, I mean, whatever, we got 25 grand, and then I could follow that up with a letter, basically saying why I disagree with your decision.
Exactly. Here's why, and here's mechanically what's going to take to do the repairs. It's not the water damage anymore. I agreed it's 25 grand, right? But the resulting congruent damage of all these, I got to dig out the pipe, I got to cut the
No,
concrete, I got
yeah.
to ruin the tile, blah blah blah. Therefore, here's my next $86,000, right? So,
Let's get a dollar. Let's get a dollar first.
get a dollar first, bro. That's my next. That's the chapter of my next book. My next
Get
video.
that dollar.
Get the dollar.
Get the
right?
dollar. You talk about
once again,
building.
don't get in a hurry. Just get the coverage established first. Don't guns a-blazing, man. That's the sure death of most PAs, right? So,
Listen, man.
and contractors.
My partner, I love him. He's the man, Richard. He is. My strategy is, I guess, sort of like yours. I try to kill him with kindness. I'm going to be nice. I'm going to be cool. Let's work together. And it works for me. But I have to admit, his strategy is he's also very nice, but he's also kind of a badass. And people are afraid of him. And he gets what he wants just by doing that as well, which we always crack up because we've got two different styles. It works for him. Mine works for me.
Right? Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, there's a line there. I mean, once they cross that line with me, I'm not averse to. I mean, people know that I have a pretty good. I'm a little bit of a type A, so
kick him out of the property.
Yeah,
if you got.
I'm not used to. I'm not averse to like mixing up a little bit. It doesn't really scare me at all. So, you got to play you got to know how. You got to be a chameleon, right? You gotta know how every situation is a little bit different, and who am I going to be today depends on how they're going to act towards me. They want to kick. They want to start. I can certainly finish it, but I'm not going to start it. That's how I feel.
Listen, I live by the motto: don't be a dick. And if you're going to be a dick,
no.
That's it. I'm gonna be a dick.
No, it doesn't work. Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about the adjusters, the insurance. Like it's like, come on, like don't be a dick. There's no need for it.
Enjoy your $43,000, and I'm gonna go and eat at the Ritz-Carlton tonight. Enjoy my steak and.
Exactly.
Thank you. Because guys like you, I got jobs. So.
You talked about building relationships. I talk about that all the time. I think it is I think it's the most important thing in this industry is to build relationships with the right people. And I like now I'm starting to really build relationships with all you guys on my side, which is also very beneficial as well. And let me tell you something too, which I think is funny, is since I started doing all these courses and stuff, I'm learning from all the new guys, even them, because they're telling me stuff that, you know what, I actually didn't even think about that. Why? Because they're talking to other people in the industry as well. But explain, because I always do, but if we can hear it from you, somebody so experienced, building relationships. I mean, how important is this?
Well, it's how we get, so referrals are relationships.
Yep.
My vendors are relationships.
Yep.
All my guys here I have relationships with. The other side I have relationships with. And it's how the world gets done. I mean, it's not what you know, it's who you know, unfortunately. Yep. Exactly. We all do a lot of studying. We all read a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, people want to do business with somebody they like and they trust and they respect.
Yes.
I don't care if you're buying a car, you're buying a book, you're going to training, you're buying a claim, whatever it is, that the relationships are the key. So I tell my guys, we always got to put ourselves in number one, in the insured shoes. If their damn roof's blown off in the middle of a hurricane, they're upset. They're living in Motel 6 or Marriott Courtyard, and they're pissed off anyway. And don't let us be the reason they're pissed off. We're here to help, man. And we're supposed to have capes on. We don't want to be the result. We want to be the bad guy in all this. So keeping these relationships active and the importance of them. And that goes back to returning phone calls, returning text, returning emails.
Which you're very good at, by the way. You're very good at, by the way. Yeah.
Thanks. Giving a meaningful, thought-through answer that's poignant that's shortened to the point, with not a bunch of smoke and mirrors. That's cool. I mean, I'd rather give somebody really bad news so they can deal with that than start blowing smoke up their butt. And 6 months from now, we're no better than we were, because these people have lives, and if I can't get them covered, I got to bring an attorney in. Let's talk about that, man. Let's put our cards on the table. They're the ones we're all working for. So, and all my jobs come from roofing vendors, restoration vendors. It's all referrals. So, the key to that is just, number one, like I said, being available to them is a huge thing. I can't tell you how many times I'll get called, and I'm one of 3 PAs they call, right? I'm the first guy to call them back. I'm the first guy to give them answers. I'm the first guy to send a contract. That's how it works, and that's how I've been semi-successful in my career, is just being available. Once again, it's cost me some relationships on the personal side. what it is, right?
The
So
first
no,
time
it's important.
The first time I
Go ahead.
talked to you on the phone, I wanted to pick your brain because I wanted to know how you're always on top of these massive buildings. And I just thought your answer was funny because it's something I talk about all the time. And you were just like, answer your phone. That was your
Yeah,
answer. And it's so
it's
true. You get so much more. You make double the amount of money just by answering your phone, I believe, because you
oh yeah.
get it done quicker, you get it done faster. Like you said, you look like you're a very reliable person. People will call you more, and it's just that's one simple rule. One simple rule.
Yeah, I'm kind of ADD with all this. I'm very type A. I mean, if an email sits on my phone or my laptop for more than 3 or 4 minutes, I'm losing my mind. So, I'm the conduit for all this stuff, right? So when somebody gets a hold of me for something, I get it to my guys right away so they can actually deal with that, the meat and potatoes of these claims. Um, it's important. These people need answers. And if somebody wants to write us a check, and me not returning an email is probably not going to help any. So
Right.
I'm very, very, very diligent with that, and I stress that within the whole company. Like let's be better than everyone else with that. I mean, communication
Is the
and
best.
all these it's
Huge.
free. It doesn't cost. So I went to Indiana University a long, long time ago, and I minored in communications. I'll never forget one of the few things I learned in college besides how to drink and have a good time and stuff. One of my communications professors was he basically said returning a phone call, or back then we didn't have faxes, it was all phone calls and letters. That's how old I am. It's absolutely it's free, man. It doesn't cost a nickel to respond to someone. And we all get fed up, we all get going with our own stuff and our own dramas, but man, if you can't take 3 minutes for your client who hired you for a reason because they trust you, we need to be all better than that. And I really feel that our guys are above and beyond, and I'm so proud of them. And we work really hard, man. It's a lot, but at the same time, you got to walk the walk and not just talk. We all could talk a great game, right? But if you're not doing what you say, and
Well,
it's all smoke and mirrors.
I've even noticed if I for some reason the few times that maybe I didn't get the result that I wanted to for the client, I've noticed that the clients more often than not, if you've been there by their side from the beginning, answering those questions, answering those phone calls, and they know that you've been doing the best that you can possible, and you got the best possible return that you think you could have gotten, even though it's maybe not where you wanted it, they're just grateful for you just being there from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you can show them your claim files, like, look, here's the 13 emails I've sent, here's the 7
Yeah.
letters, here's what we've done for you guys, and we're at a dead end. I can't
Right.
physically or do any more for you within the realms of adjusting, but I do have 3 or 4 great attorney firms I can bring you in on, and they're going to take the ball and run with it. We're going to sue the living hell of the insurance company because we
Right.
feel we're right. That makes it a lot better argument where, sending an email with an exact rate estimate, hey man, please pay this. There's not much, and that's unfortunately, you and I both know, a lot of the competition. That's what they're all about. Like, let's get the insurance estimate, let's jazz it up a little bit and call it a day. Well, that's not adjusting, man. That's actually stealing people's money, bro.
That's why I like what you guys are doing with the training. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Is just like I take my job very seriously. I was telling Randolph this the other day. I got this guy that's working under me, and some of the referrals that he's getting from some of these restoration companies are bullshit. It's just bad claims. Like it's like one little corner. There's like a little piece of like water there. I go up on the roof. It is like tight. It's like less than 5 years old, and they're like, well, let's claim the whole roof. And I'm like, that's not how this works. Like this claim is. No. These people do not have a problem. It's fine. That's probably from before the 5 years ago. Leave them alone. Don't put another claim under their policy. I had a girl the other day. She was dying to get the claim signed, and it was an $8,000 deductible. It wasn't worth it for them. The claim with the roof was fine, and I said, you got to walk. You got to walk. And so I was telling you, I was telling Randolph the other day, it's like, I take my job very seriously. I'm very prideful of it. And I want to work it from A to Z. And I want to do everything I can for the client, gather all the documentation. John Wood, I thought was it John Wood? Is that his name? The attorney?
Yep.
I thought it was cool.
Phenomenal guy.
I thought it was cool when he said, because I've always sort of thought it, but I don't like to say it because I didn't go to law school, so I don't consider myself a lawyer at all. But he said it as a lawyer. I like that he said it's like you guys should be acting like you're lawyers, because what you're doing is you're building a case. And if you assume that every claim is going to end up going to litigation and you build that case correctly, like a lawyer would, man, you're going to knock it out of the park every time.
Yeah, we treat every file like it's going to court, and thank God they never hardly do. But we actually. That's why we're so successful, right? Because the carriers start getting these things like, oh shit, these guys know what they're doing. They're putting me in a corner right now.
Right.
And hopefully they're smart enough to know, like, oh God, we got them. Let's get this thing paid. That's if you build these cases like you are going to court every time, even though that's not your intention, it sure looks like we're not here playing frisbee. We're here to get the claim settled and collect millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So let's act like it, right? It's like professionals. Let's dress professional. Let's talk professional. Let's handle ourselves professionally, and let's build a professional case at the same time. And that 99.9% of the time, that's what gets this stuff paid.
I've been dressing more professional since the course, I have to admit.
Thank you, sir.
I'm always like in a t-shirt. I mean, even now I kind of feel bad, but I'm always like in a t-shirt or a v-neck with my jeans and stuff. And then after the course, I'm just like, all right, I'm going to make an effort, because you know what? I think you're right. Yeah. You're treated a little bit differently. If you're,
I was with Randolph yesterday in Jacksonville once a week.
I saw the picture. You guys were sharp.
Dude, it's 1,000 degrees. I had my sport coat on and we got the damn thing signed. But that's what people are like, they're buying this because I'm not some yahoo in the back of a truck who passed a Florida licensing exam 5 years ago. We're a professional company. We have office space and computers and people, and we have a physical address. That's what matters, man. We're a business, right?
I told Randolph, I talked to him today. He signed that big claim. And when I first met him, he came here and he spent the night at a hotel, and I took him out for drinks and dinner. And first thing I said when he answered the phone, I said, motherfucker, I said, the next time we're going out, you're buying.
Yeah. I mean, that's, the cool part about that whole thing. I've never met him before. He came in, we spent a lot of time together. He was in the front row of that class, asking a lot of questions. Yeah, great. Perfect, right? That's what he's there for.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I have this claim. What should I do? I'm like, let's sign it up. I'm like, sign the damn claim. Let's go. I go, you want me to come in? He goes, you'll do that? I'm like, yeah.
That's
we're
awesome.
going to split fees with you, but we're going to be there.
Yeah.
And we're going to help you and mentor you. Yeah, it's cool. And then the cool part, he's excited about it, man. And it gets me excited because what we did here paid off. Like Randolph's already got his money back on the course times 1,000.
Times like a lot.
Yeah. Personally, I've made a great friend. He's a great guy. He's knowledgeable. He's going to be a resource for me in Florida forever. We're going to work claims together. Once again, the training thing, that became the perfect, it's just the perfect storm for all that. It's great. I get all excited because it's really cool when you have a vision and it pays off. And then honestly, it's paid off within the first 10 days, which is ridiculous, right?
But you guys have done, Dave, and you guys have done this course before, right? Haven't you done something? This is the first time? Because I saw something, you guys sponsor ad on social media of him speaking in front of a group of people with his suit on or something like that.
Yeah, that's our own training. That's for our own guys, and we also do a lot of a lot of attorneys come in and we train them on stuff.
Get out of here!
Policy. Yeah. So we do a lot of stuff. Attorneys they're litigators. They're great at law. Okay, insurance policies are a different thing. That's our expertise. So we'll train them on some of this stuff. Yeah, that's what that's all about. Yeah, Chip Merlin's an advocate of ours. I mean, John Wood, Jasmani Hamarone in Miami. I mean, we have a list of the big time attorneys. Zach Mosley of MMA in Houston. These guys are in our wheelhouse, and I've been lucky enough to become friends with most of them. I can literally text them right now and bullshit about their families or happy birthday, and
that's awesome.
It's a cool thing. It goes back to relationships.
Tell me about you guys. How long have you guys been around? How long have you been with Dave? How did you guys meet, and how did all that start?
Skipton's been around since 1992. I actually started in this business in 1989 myself. I was a restoration contractor forever. I was in Arizona, Texas. We just did tens of millions of dollars a year, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And Dave was after me for a long time to come over and be a PA. I'm like, no, I got the construction thing down. And, being a contractor for a long time was very eye-opening, very awakening. Probably took 20 years off my life.
Oof. I was talking to a guy about that today. He was just like, man, my back is killing me. He's like, maybe I should become a public adjuster. I said, yeah, man, come on.
Yeah, bro, same thing. So for about 20 years, I've known David and his sons, and we were talking back and forth. And about 5 years ago, we sat down and talked, and they offered me a very lucrative salary and a position to come over. And I'm like, I'm probably just gonna hang out a little bit longer and wait and wait and wait. He's like, okay, let me know. And so about a year later, I'm like, my back hurts. I'm tired of being owed millions of dollars.
Did you say
From
5
State
years
Farm.
ago?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you said 1989.
I was a restoration contractor in 1989.
Until 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
you must be in pain.
Yeah. My back is torched, and every joint, my fingers are all bent to hell, and yeah, it was brutal,
Wow.
right? So yeah, we were doing all over the country, man. I had crews every I mean, you name it, we were there. So, and I got tired. I mean, basically, State Farm, Farmers Liberty, Crawford, they ran my business, man. If the check didn't come in the mail, I remember waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, worrying about if the direct payment from State Farm came in that night to make my payroll, even though I had 175 jobs going on. So that got old, and
Yep.
I finally said, screw this, and ironically, a little funny backstory to this is the first job offer from Skipton was salary and some other stuff, and I'm like, no, fine, I'll pass for right now. We had lunch a year later, and Dave's like, I want you to come aboard, but the big thing now is full commission. I'm like, okay, cool. Biggest mistake David ever made was put me on full commission.
Right? It gives you that drive. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get you now.
Yeah. So I've been very fortunate. I probably make a lot more than the rest of the staff here, but at the same time, hard work pays off. But yeah, I've only been a PA now for going on 4 years, but I've been, back when I started in restoration work, there were no PA. We actually we did everything ourselves because UPPA wasn't a thing, and nobody cared that we were adjusting. It was just part of the thing, right? So that's also part of it too, is I got to know the other side of it. So all these adjusters that we're coming up against now, some of them are friends of mine, some I've known forever. Some of them I want to throw over the roof sometimes, but it's still that relationship. So yeah, that's how I started doing this, and I kind of took off, and I kind of I think my first day here I signed a fire right out of the gate.
Nice.
And I told Dave, is like, can I come over? I'm not here to poke around and have fun. I'm here to get shit done, grow this business, make the company profitable, and make myself a nice living. And I've been real fortunate to do all of those things. So it's been a great transition for me. I sleep better at night. I have a great time. I get to travel, see the world. I meet great people like you and Randolph and all the other guys, and it's just been a great thing for me. And my kids enjoy me a lot better because I'm not ready to, I'm not leaving at 3 o'clock in the morning going to make sure the flood's going okay. And it's a much different, better professional world that we live in now, that I'm in now. And being a contractor was great for those many years, but I would discourage anyone from going in that business again. It was brutal, man.
I tell everybody, being a public adjuster is the greatest job in the world.
It's right up there, man. I've seen things and met people that I've never would have done without this. I mean, I've made great friends in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and Miami, and
I saw
Tampa,
that you went there. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually I got the San Juan Capitol building for $66 million claim I signed. So pretty good, right?
Jesus, that's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's been great, and we're entrenched in I got brokers in San Juan to give me. I mean, it's been a very organic thing that I've done.
I'm guessing you know a lot of the contractors that went over there to Puerto Rico, and they'll call you. They're like, hey, they need your help out here.
Yeah, I mean, so when the next big thing hits in San Juan, and it's going to hit again, right? It's inevitable. We're ready to go, and there's a lot of new laws that have passed in Puerto Rico that's going to benefit the insured now. And I think it's going to be a great thing. It's been a little bit crazy there because it's been kind of the Wild West, but things are getting a lot better and things are getting settled and moving along. But yeah, I've learned a lot. So
how were those claims in Puerto Rico? How were they different?
Well, so keep in mind before Maria hit, they didn't have a hurricane forever, right? So there was no statute of limitations on claims. There was nothing. So an insurance carrier literally could take a claim, put it over here, and sit on it for as long as they want, with no litigation threat or no repercussion because there was no statute of limitations.
Wow.
They could sit that thing for 3, 4, 5 years, and unfortunately, it put a lot of people out of business and homeless. Okay, I've been really fortunate to have a lot of two of my great friends, Jasmani Hamarone and Ricky Patel of FPJL in Miami, had an office in San Juan before this happened. And they've been fighting tooth and nail since day one to get some new legislation put in. And they've done that. So now Puerto Rico now has the 2-year thing on commercial, the 1-year thing on. So there's statute of limitations now that these insurance companies have to live by. And it's been a blessing and a godsend. These guys, I can't even, they've got literally laws passed from their hard work.
Wow.
Get these people taken care of. Yeah. From zero to that is amazing. And it's only been a few years now. And it's, once again, when the new hurricane comes, it's going to be a lot, not to sound dramatic, but it's going to be a lot better for everyone because stuff will get paid and done a lot quicker. Three carriers went out of business there, man. They went bankrupt. Just,
they got wiped out
until the last day.
Puerto Rico got wiped out, man. Yeah, it was bad.
I've never seen it's still. You fly in now, it's still blue tarps everywhere. It's crazy. Still.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been cool and once again, relationships, man. That was weird story about that. If we have more time,
you can take as long as you want. Hey, listen, honestly, I'm good as long as you are. So,
little bit of the Puerto Rico claim came from Ricky Patel, I never met before, posted on LinkedIn looking for public adjuster in Puerto Rico. So for 3 months straight, I freaking not every day, but
I saw something. I saw something when I first started really getting into the whole Facebook and the groups and stuff like that. I don't know if it was that post, but I remember I saw something and you responded quick and you were just like, I'll be there. And I'm like, dude, this guy goes to Puerto Rico too? I couldn't believe it.
So it took him 2 or 3 months of not responding. And finally, Ricky emailed me back. He goes, hey, this is like at noon on a Tuesday. He goes, can you be here tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock?
I'll be there.
So I literally packed my shit, hopped on a plane, flew to Miami that night, got to his office at 8:50. We talked, and then by the time I got off the plane, I had a stack of files to go take care of for those guys.
All those claims.
And they've not only been fantastic clients, but they've actually become very, very close friends of mine. Like literally, I got birthday texts from them last week. Just once again, you surround yourself with great people, great things happen. And when you find people like that, Ricky's written children's books and he's just a phenomenal human being, man, just a good guy. And that's what it's all about, is getting people that give a damn, not about the business, but about you personally. It rises everything above and beyond that. And the dollars at that point start taking care of themselves because you're just in a good group of people. And that's, it's irreplaceable, man. You can't, there's no price tag on that. Yeah. I mean, I've been in there. I mean, it's cool relationships, man. I have that with other PAs and contractors and roofing guys and just everybody. That's the experience. Relationships are the whole business. I don't care what business you're in. That's important, right? So.
And if you're good at what you do, they're going to keep calling you. Why would they call someone else?
Yeah, that's the key, man. Once again, answer your freaking phone, especially the first time. Answer your freaking phone.
What's the if you could take me through real quick for those who really want to build a business like you guys have over there, what's sort of like the what's sort of like the workflow that you guys have over there? How's like everything go? Just a brief. You don't have to tell me any secrets. I'm not asking for that, but just like general workflow within the office. You got people doing certain things, and you've got others doing certain things.
So I'm basically my title is executive vice president. So my job is to my job is to go hunt and find great claims, get them signed. Assign an adjuster, monitor them, make sure they're getting their stuff done.
So you're assigning another adjuster to go out there?
Yeah, so I basically have, I think, 9 guys around me doing all the daily activities and stuff, like reading the policies, writing estimates, adjusting the claims, corresponding, writing the letters. And then we have 3 admin people who are going through the mail, unpiling, and the stacks of mail we get are ridiculous, right? So scanning it into Claim Wizard. Chasing money around, depositing checks. So we have like 15 full-time people here, just fully staffed, doing every aspect of it. And the cool part is we have people only doing estimates because that's what they're great at. I got people only reading policies. That's what they're great at. I got guys adjusting claims. That's what they're great at. So everybody has a little niche role, but they're all they can all do all of it. But 90% of the time they're doing what they're great at, which is cool because they're into it that way, you know. And a lot of when claims come in, I take them with me. We'll go out and hit them. Like I'm going to Houston and Dallas next week with one of my guys, and we're going to hit all the claims I signed. And I'm going to go meet all the people, and I haven't seen in a while because we've been kind of in shelter here. So I
Right.
would see my roofing guys and my attorneys and things like that. So
Nice.
it's so it's a long drawn out process, and everybody has a role, and we dump everything in this thing called Claim Wizard. It's an app that all the correspondence files go into, and if you guys aren't using something like that, you're really selling yourself short, because it's all, I mean, literally every claim is on my phone.
Right.
So,
Gotcha. Yeah, I use a couple other ones. I don't use Claim Wizard, but it's something that I've actually been thinking about and considering.
yeah, it's pretty inexpensive, and it just kind of keeps everything in one place. That's the idea, because you don't want to start looking for stuff when it's
No,
at
yeah,
your fingertips, man.
yeah, you got to have everything
Yeah.
organized. And I like how you guys have different
Yeah.
people doing different things. I mean, I did everything from A to Z for so long, which I think
Yeah.
I think we should in the beginning, just so we could learn everything. But now, yeah, I send
Correct.
somebody out to do an estimate. I send somebody out to do something else. I got an assistant who does everything, like sending follow-up emails, scheduling stuff, because I don't have time for that stuff. I'd rather go out there, sign claims, and meet people. That's what I like to do the most.
Same thing. Yeah, that's my little niche, and I feel like I'm good at it, and I got people behind me doing all the hard stuff, So.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I don't really have much else. We pretty much hit the hour mark. Man, Jack, I really thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate the opportunity, man. You guys are great. So
you have been somebody that I have been wanting to talk to and pick your brain for a while. So I'm really appreciative of you coming on and sharing some of your knowledge.
I'll be in that area in about 2 weeks. We'll grab a beer, man. I think middle of June. I got a bunch of claims I got to go deal with and something like that.
Yeah.
So.
I would love to do that. And for those who are listening, the Skipton course, the Skipton, what is it? The training, Skipton training is awesome. I mean, take it from me, who sometimes I feel like I think I know it all, but after doing that course, I realized no, I don't know it all. And like I said, it really made me tighten things up. Really made me focus on sending those letters the way they're supposed to send. Really made me focus on dressing to impress and just being on top of it because like I said, you're right. Too many public adjusters think all we're doing is going, man, when I first started, I didn't even take photos.
Right.
It's
exactly. Like what? Yeah. What the hell? Yeah. Right.
And now, now I obviously do it and I try to build my file, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's after the course, I'm like, all right, I'm going to just tighten things up a little bit. Let's make sure I get all my ducks in a row. And I think it's great
cool.
because
we had new people and old people in it. Like, and there's nothing wrong with like, oh shit, I need to do this better.
Exactly.
That's the idea, right? Yeah, it's invaluable for all of us, man.
I
mean, we actually came out of that thing like, oh shit, there's a couple things that David said. I'm like, we need to do that better in our end too. And I'm sitting here, right? So we all take things. You get in your habits, and some are good, some are bad. You just got to always be open to new things and experiences, and don't be afraid to change, because none of us are 1,000% on this stuff, right? If we get that much better, we're that much better, right?
Some of those letters,
crazy shit.
Oh my God. If I could explain, I mean, some of these letters were like 10 pages long, citing all these different things in the insurance policy. It's like, I can't imagine what an insurance adjuster, a desk adjuster making his $40,000, $50,000 a year thinks. Or he's just like, holy shit, what is this?
Well, so the whole idea about that is what I tell the clients. I said that the first thing I want the adjuster on the other side to go do is when they open up our letter of rep, I want them to go, oh
shit.
Here they come.
Yep.
Like, oh God, that's the reaction I want. Not like, oh, these guys are dicks. I'm just like, oh God, because I want them to. I'm going to hold their feet to the fire.
Well, well, also, but that brings up reputation. I talk to a lot of new adjusters and I'm just like they get like a lot of the guys that they come and they ride with me. Sometimes you could tell they're very inexperienced, and you could tell the people that they have gotten some advice from are just these fly by night adjusters, which my hometown, Miami, I love it to death, but there's a lot of them. And you could tell the advice that they've been getting is just like, just go in and sign it. And that's it. Like, just sign them up. When they have to remember that it's a small world. This little adjusting community on both sides. Yep. And I tell them, you're going to be meeting a lot of the same adjusters a lot of the times. And if you're a ball buster, or if you're a faker, or if you're just, all your claims are bullshit, or you're just full of shit, then they're going to treat you like that. And your claims aren't going to get paid. But if they know you're a straight shooter, then they're going to see, like my company, Key Biscayne Claim Adjusters, like, all right, we got a legitimate claim here. All right, let's see, let's investigate it. We'll talk with Vince. Vince is cool. We'll understand each other and we'll figure this out. So I was I was at the inspection today. I mean, we had the time of our lives. We went and had lunch after it. And this is with the field adjuster who's trying to tell me about the $25,000 limit. I'm like, all right, whatever, man. This is how I'm going to argue that, by the way. He's like, all right, whatever. You do what you got to do.
Right.
it was cool.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So what I just wanted to say is anybody who's listening, honestly, follow Jack Hanks, because I'm telling you, if you want to follow anybody, this guy's on top of a freaking skyscraper every day. He's on top of some massive shopping mall every day. And it's insane. And if you guys want to get anywhere, you want to get to that level where you're just basically signing nothing but commercial claims. And I will tell you that if you take this course, with David Skipton and with Jack and with David's son, I mean, they've got so much knowledge. You're talking over 20 years of experience, and I strongly recommend that you take this course in person too. I do regret not taking it in person, because Randolph texts me while he's at the class, and he's like, "Hey, how you liking the course?" I'm like, "Oh, it's pretty cool." And he goes, "Man, let me tell you, they've been taking us out after the course and painting the town red." And I literally, my reply to him was, "Dude, the course is great, but I'm telling you, what you're going to get out of what you learn after the course is going to be much more valuable than what you're actually learning in the course."
Yeah. Plus the hangovers go away quickly when it's just hot, so it's not that big a deal. So.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're going out there,
we really did.
Yeah, when you're going out there having drinks, you get a drink and you relax a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And you don't need to be an alcoholic, but you have one drink, you relax a little bit, and you have good conversation, and you can really learn a lot. And then building these relationships is just, like you said, it's the most important thing in this industry.
1,000%, dude. 1,000%. So.
Jack, you're the man. Thank you so much.
All right, brother.
There it is. This one right here.
Right on, man.
All right, my man. See you later. We'll see each other soon.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You got it, man. Bye-bye.